President Donald Trump has taken yet another courtroom loss, this time against his nemesis, the New York Times. In fact, the president announced that he was suing the New York Times for defamation and tried to extort them for a total of $15 billion in damages. So he did this on a Truth Social post
Truth, essential.
late Monday evening. Now, that ill fated lawsuit cited a series of articles, which is what the New York Times does, including an editorial, by the way, an editorial, which is an opinion piece. That's what that means, okay, which ran before the 2024 presidential election. Now, in that piece, the author of said piece, which again, this was the editorial, so it was the editorial board of the New York Times, that said that he was unfit for office. Well, seems like they had that one right on the nose. Yes, definitely unfit for office, especially in a mental capacity. Um, I mean, just to think that this person is, at all fit for running a country based on his performance, based on his temperament. If you think that that guy is fit, and yet you were pointing at Biden for stuttering, and yes, Biden does have age-related issues. I'm not discounting that. But you're thinking that Trump was even more capable? Come on. Come on. But anyway, not only that, Trump was mad at a book published by Penguin, which was also in the lawsuit here, titled Lucky Loser, How Donald Trump Squandered His Father's Fortune and Created the Illusion of Success. I don't know, man. It kind of sounds like he was a bit triggered by all that. Okay. A little triggered, or maybe a lot. But anyway, the complaint here filed in the U.S. District Court for the Middle District of Florida had absolutely no merit to it, according to the judge. Again, Trump is a public figure, and opinion is protected speech. So, I'm just saying. All right, now, nonetheless, this lawsuit was not about any actual defamatory remarks. No, this was simply an attempt to get the New York Times to try to bend the knee like so many other media outlets. And so far, of course, it's not going to work. It got tossed out by U.S. District Judge Stephen D. Merryday. Sorry. He dismissed the case, declaring it to have been, quote, unmistakable and inexcusable violation of the federal rules of civil procedure. Okay, what does that mean? Basically, it doesn't follow the proper procedure of a lawsuit. In fact, the judge pointed out that, like, this thing is way longer than it needs to be. Seriously, way longer. He pointed at the suit's decidedly improper and impermissible length and repetitive, often repetitive, and laudatory towards President Trump, but superfluous allegations. He basically surmised that the suit is essentially garbage, which it's true that it is garbage. The first sentence of his 4-page order referenced Rule 8 from the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure that requires complaints to be simple, concise, and direct, with a short and plain statement of the claim showing that the pleader is entitled to relief, calling that a rule that every member of the bar of every federal court knows or is presumed to know. He says, as every lawyer knows or is presumed to know, a complaint is not a public forum for vituperation and invective, not a protected platform to rage against an adversary. A complaint is not a megaphone for public relations or a podium for passionate oration at a political rally or the functional equivalent of the Hyde Park Speaker's Corner. Ouch. That is, that's rough. Look, instead of his complaint being simple and concise, this was 85 pages of run-on bullshit. That's it. It's nothing more than that.
Bullshit.
What do you expect from Donald Trump's crack team of crackerjack lawyers? Okay? And I say that because the Department of Justice has actually lost so much of its legal team to resignations. Okay? Nobody wanted to work for this regime. It leaves the bottom of the barrel, and his personal lawyers aren't any better. All right? And look, a lot of his picks aren't good at all. Jeanine Pirro, for example, is the U.S. attorney for D.C. She cannot even prosecute a ham sandwich. I mean, the joke is, oh, well, it's so easy to indict someone, you can indict a ham sandwich, right? Apparently, can't prosecute it, though. Or even the person who threw it. They are failing in the legal system. Simply because it is the only system that's hanging on by a thread and working the way that it's supposed to. That they haven't completely taken over yet. Meaning, of course, that they're going to try to find ways to undermine it. Maybe by, I don't know, creating kangaroo courts. Finding a way to do that. It's not like they haven't already threatened judges. Okay? I mean, MAGA has absolutely made a lot of threats against judges that have ruled against Donald Trump. Perhaps then they will also try to remove any judges. They'll try to find a way to, get rid of any judges that don't give them favorable rulings. I do not know what is going to happen. I don't know. As far as I know right now, the Trump administration will still be able to file another lawsuit. This time it's got to be like 40 pages or less than. So they're probably going to do that. Right, to try to scare the New York Times into bending the knee. So, like so many have. Like, for example, ABC, the Washington Post, owned by Jeff Bezos. TikTok. All these different outlets, all these different agencies that are headed up by billionaires, let's be honest. The people that are supposed to be the, fourth estate, the people that are supposed to, report the news, the people that are supposed to do all this stuff are being targeted for one simple reason, and that is to crush dissent. And so they are going to use whatever power they have, whether it be lawfare, litigious, being overly litigious, as they are, or threatening, or trying to find some way that they can get rid of judges they don't like. Whatever they can try to do to crush that dissent, they are going to do. Because that's what an authoritarian regime does. And they're following that playbook to the letter. And if you're wondering what playbook that is, it's already been spelled out in Project 2025. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.